Now, guys, what you've all been waiting for, I'm going to give you 5 fights for the main card at UFC 300. Let's get into it. UFC 300 is upon us, and opening up the card for UFC 300 is a fight on nobody's radar. And that fight is Cory Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo, the former 125-pound champion. Now, this fight opens up the card with an absolute banger. And let's be serious, guys. I don't want to watch the winner of Merab and Henry Cejudo wrestle fuck Sean O'Malley. It's just going to be a boring fight, guys. We want an exciting fight to set up for later in the year. So that's why we have Cory Sandhagen and Deiveson Figueiredo. And whoever wins that fight between these two guys leapfrogs Merab and Henry Cejudo to fight the winner of the Sean O'Malley Chito Vera title fight. I think this is a great way to open up UFC 300. This fight's going to be absolutely fireworks, man. A fight between Cory Sandhagen and Deiveson Figueiredo is going to be must watch from the moment the fight starts to whenever it ends. I think someone's going to get finished, but Deiveson Figueiredo looked really, really good against Rob Font. His boxing looks good. His power really translated to 135 pounds. And that's a really tough matchup for Cory Sandhagen, who looked good in his last fight, even though he got hurt and he had to wrestle a little bit. But man, these guys are going to be evenly matched, and it'll be a fun chess match because obviously Cory Sandhagen is the taller, longer fighter, and Deiveson Figueiredo is a little more compact and has more power. And there's no way on earth that this fight could be boring between Deiveson Figueiredo and Cory Sandhagen. And I like the winner of this fight to leapfrog Merab and Cejudo winner to fight the winner of Sean O'Malley and Chito Vera. I think Sean O'Malley's going to win that fight. So Sean O'Malley versus Deiveson Figueiredo or Cory Sandhagen, that's the fight to make. Merab, Cejudo, no one is paying pay-per-view dollars to watch Cejudo and Merab fight. That's why I'm booking to open up UFC 300, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cory Sandhagen. When I was constructing this UFC 300 dream card, I wanted to put together fights in all of my favorite weight divisions. And that means we have to have a fight at 145 pounds, guys. But Volkanovski and Poirier already booked. Arnold Allen already has a fight. Brian Ortega has a fight. Yair Rodriguez has a fight. So that leaves Max Holloway versus Josh Emmett at 145 pounds. Josh Emmett just had the knockout of the year against Bryce Mitchell. He absolutely put him in the shadow realms, and this fight is going to be so much fun. And this is the time you want to ride the Josh Emmett hype, man. He's never going to be more popular than he is right now. That's why you put him up against a guy like Max Holloway, who has never even been knocked down. He's never really even been hurt in any of his UFC fights. So this is a fan favorite fight. This fight, there's no way on earth that this fight could ever be boring. It's going to be fireworks. Max Holloway, Josh Emmett, book this fight for the second fight at UFC 300. When you have the biggest card in a decade for the UFC, we need some big dudes to throw absolute bombs at each other. That's why we're getting a great heavyweight fight for the third fight for UFC 300. And that's between Siral Gane and Sergey Pavlovich. Yeah, that's right. Gane, Pavlovich, this fight is going to be crazy. Someone's getting knocked out. Ciryl Gane looked really good against Sergey Spivak. He easily won that fight. He was piecing him up with body kicks and leg kicks and really good 1-2s. And then obviously Tom Aspinall knocked out the hype train of Sergey Pavlovich. But Pavlovich is still a beast. He's still a fan favorite. And him and Ciryl Gane going head-to-head at UFC 300. There's no better fight to make in the heavyweight division right now. Tom Aspinall is going to have to wait out the whole John Jones-Stipe situation, which sucks for him. That's why the heavyweight fight to make for UFC 300 is Pavlovich versus Ciryl Gane. That fight's going to be incredible. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like that fight? Because I love that fight. Okay, now let's get into the co-main event and the main event for UFC 300. I've been going back and forth with who I wanted to fight in these two headlining events at UFC 300, and I came to the conclusion that the best fight to make for the co-main event is Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya 3 at 205 pounds for the belt. I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, we want to see Izzy and Khamzat Chimaev. Just hear me out a little bit. This is a story of redemption for both fighters. Izzy tried to get the 205 belt before and lost to Jan Blachowicz, and Alex Pereira got knocked the fuck out by Israel Adesanya in their last fight. And I'm sure he's going to want to get that loss back for sure. So that's why I think it makes the most sense from a business standpoint and for the legacy of Israel Adesanya. If Izzy can beat Pereira again and lock up another belt at 205 pounds, this really solidifies his legacy as one of the greatest fighters in UFC history, man. I think he really wants to get that 205 strap. So I think the Alex Pereira fight is going to be there. We'll see if Khamzat Chimaev, but because of Ramadan, I don't think he's going to fight. So that's why I think the fight to make is Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira 3 in the UFC for the 205-pound belt. Yeah, baby, that fight's going to be dope. Someone's getting KO'd. Faux show. All right, now we have the main event for UFC 300. Since I already booked Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor will not be fighting Michael Chandler in the main event. Conor McGregor is going to be fighting Dustin Poirier. They have a lot of unfinished business, guys. If Conor McGregor wanted to fight Michael Chandler, that fight would have been booked. I know the UFC probably doesn't want to book Conor McGregor for UFC 300 because it's already going to have a lot of juice, and they probably want to save him for like July International Fight Week to like headline another card and make even more money. From a business perspective, that makes a lot of sense. But I think fans are going to be annoyed if Conor McGregor is not on UFC 300. And they're going to make a ton of money if he's on this card. Obviously, the last two fights with Dustin Poirier did not go his way. The last one being the leg break. So there's a lot of unfinished business there. And this will be it for this kind of rivalry in the UFC. One more time, we're going to do Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor for all the bragging rights. This and potentially maybe get Dustin Poirier or Conor McGregor, whoever wins, back into the title conversation. It's either going to be Michael Chandler and Fiziev, whoever wins that fight, or whoever wins between Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor will get that title shot of whoever wins between Islam Makhachev and Justin Gaethje, which I think is going to be booked in March. So that's it, guys. We're going to headline with Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 4. And then we're going to go Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya for the 205 strap. And then we're going to go a heavyweight barn burner between Sergey Pavlov and Siral. And then we're going to move on to Max Holloway versus Josh Emmett, a great fight. And then a 135 slobber knocker between Cory Sandhagen and Davison Figero. That is my dream card for UFC 300. Let me know in the comments below. Who would you like to see fight on the UFC 300 card? Do you agree with some of my fights? Do you like some of my fights? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Peace!